What's up guys, welcome to Season 2, Episode 3 of the Insane Kart Wii series. In each episode of this series, we are playing 16 completely randomized custom tracks from Insane Kart Wii, which has over 4,500 tracks. And then we give all tracks a rating between 1 and 5 stars, and we rank all of them at the end of this video. In the last episode, we actually set a new record for the most 5-star tracks. The previous record was at 5, and we managed to almost double it to be at 8 now. I guess let's see how today's track selection will compare to that. As always, all tracks will be picked through this wheel right here. So yeah, let's start right off with our first track, which is going to be Mario Kart World. Okay, interesting visual style already. Not really what I expected. Looks pretty unique, to be honest. Also, it seems like we got an infinite intro cam here, so let's skip it. But yeah, the visuals definitely make me curious how this track's gonna play. It seems like we have a bunch of like different themed sections here. We have like a mountain section, now we're in like a leafy section. There seems to be a desert temple over there. So far, a pretty cool start, to be honest. I like the objects here. Though this is definitely an interesting track design. It's a little bit bumpy at parts, for sure. And nothing seems to be trickable. Or at least not like the edges that definitely should be trickable. But yeah, so far, honestly, not off to a bad start. There's definitely quite some interesting design choices here. I like that we have like a lot of sections that feel like they are based, you know, of like regular tracks from Mario Kart Wii. Well, except this one. I don't know what this is supposed to be. Is this chocolate? Very confused by that. This too. I don't know what this is. Here we got the road texture from Delfino Square, but Delfino Square doesn't go uphill like this. Interesting track for sure. It's honestly pretty fun. Just a little bit jank, you know? It has like a lot of drastic elevation changes, which can work, but doesn't always work. Okay, well that's interesting. Some sections are just weirdly slanted, like this one. And then of course the non-trickable stuff is also something, but it's not the worst thing ever, obviously. It just feels a bit slow-paced. I like that they use these ice thingies from Mario Kart Double Dash. They look cool. Okay, let's quickly throw that before our star runs out. I'm not sure what these last few sections are supposed to be. The rest just looks like stuff that you find in normal Mario Kart Wii, but these last few sections just look confusing. In general, I'm very confused about what the theme of this track is supposed to be. Well, anyway, this track is definitely gonna get 3 stars. It has a really interesting theme, and honestly, the track design here has a ton of potential. It's just a bit jank and maybe needs some trickable stuff. Nothing being trickable makes this feel a little bit slow-paced, even though the scaling here is actually quite good. Visuals are interesting, could need some polishing, but overall not bad. So yeah, in total, I'd say this is a pretty middle down the road track. So yeah, 3 stars makes sense for sure. So yeah, that's our first track down. Let's see what our second track is going to be. And the answer is Dinner Dash. Okay. Once again, a track with a very interesting visual style. I like the fire effect that they used around like the meat. Actually makes it look like it's being cooked right now. I'm really liking the theme that they went for here. This feels kind of similar to like Desktop Dash, you know, in the way that you're like actually driving on a table with like all the stuff. The minimap doesn't seem to give too much away, so this track is potentially a little bit confusing. Though actually, I don't think it's gonna be that bad. I think the minimap just shows the walls, so I think this is fine. Yeah, I think it's relatively clear where you're going. Okay, actually, that's a little bit blind. You go into that like meat section without really seeing too much. Also, I'm really confused by this. Oh, that one's a mushroom, but the other one is not. This track is weird, but it's actually like really cool. I love the theming, and the visual style here is awesome too. Good that I got a bullet bill because I need to catch up a little bit. There we go. We're back in the front. Almost, at least. Luigi's still ahead. Okay. This track definitely has some interesting design choices. Not all of them are super functional, to be honest. I'd say the main issue is probably this section. It looks cool, just isn't that... What? Okay, I'm not really sure what just happened there. Once you get the hang of the track, it's really fun, actually. Oh, that's off-road. Damn. I didn't think this track would have any off-road, to be honest. We just lost to the CPUs again. All right, but this track is gonna get 4 stars. Yeah, overall, I'd say this one looks really good visually, and the gameplay is quite fun. It's a bit confusing. It's a little bit jank. Maybe needs some clearer texturing, but overall, this track slaps for sure. And yeah, really like the theme, and overall, it's just very nicely executed. So yeah, if we take all the issues into account, I'd say this definitely results in a 4-star track right right here. I'd say it's time for the third track right now, which is going to be track I didn't finish in time. Why do I feel like we're in for something interesting right now? Okay, we can't see too much yet. Seems like we're trapped in some sort of box right now. Not sure what else there's to say, judging by this intro cam, but this certainly looks weird. What am I supposed to expect from this? Minimap actually looks really interesting. Was this made for some competition? Because otherwise, I don't know how you wouldn't finish something in time. Surely this is from like a CT jam or something. Honestly, not off to a bad start though. Like, this is actually kind of fun right now. The visuals are a little bit strange for sure, but the track is actually kind of fun. We got some pretty unique design choices right here again. I'm not really sure what this is even supposed to be. Is this supposed to be like a time-based kind of track? I know there was a time CT jam, so potentially it was maybe made for that. I don't remember this track at all though. Well, it could always be that I just forgot about it. There's over 1,000 CT jam tracks after all, which is insane by the way. Though obviously not all of them are in Wii, as quite a lot of CT jam tracks are unreleased. But still, 1,000 tracks is still crazy. So there's at the very least like, I don't know, 400 released CT jam tracks, maybe more. That's like kind of my estimate right now. I believe that number doesn't even take like turbo jams and CT jellies into account, by the way. Anyway, I think we should talk about this track again. Honestly, pretty fun layout. I'm not gonna lie. Didn't really expect this track to have a fun layout with his visual style. But I mean, fair enough, you know, the creator just didn't finish it in time, so I guess they just didn't have much time to work on the visuals. I think this can do for some very fun online races. Like, honestly, the only thing I can say is that a few sections feel a little bit empty, which isn't the worst issue ever. And yeah, this one I'd say is also gonna get 4 stars. It's really fun gameplay-wise. The visuals are obviously not the best, but the gameplay is what matters most. And yeah, this track is definitely quite enjoyable to play. There's a lot of good design choices here. This is a very fun track, and I'm surprised that it works this well. So yeah, 4 stars it is. Not off to a bad start, I'd say. Let's now see what our 4th track will look like. And that track is going to be Mystery Valley. Once again, we don't really see that much of the track yet. Okay, we actually see a little bit. Visually, it kind of reminds me of like a mix between like Moo Moo Meadows and Mario Raceway. What is this finish line? I like this ramp right here. This track is a speed mod, by the way, so that's cool. I'd say speed mods work well with these simple layouts. Definitely provide some more interest. I want to do this a little bit better now. All right, nice. There we go. This is definitely a fun little layout. Yeah, honestly, not much wrong with this track, but also not that much right with this track. It's just kind of fun, I guess. I think making speed mod tracks interesting is always kind of difficult because it's like way harder to adjust the track after the speed mod. This one, I'd say, is fairly good gameplay wise, though some sections could maybe need a little bit more variety. So yeah, this track is gonna get 3 stars. It definitely has something. It's pretty fun to play, has some decent objects, and it doesn't look bad. It looks pretty okay, I'd say. I like the little shroomless ramp shortcuts, but obviously it has a really simple layout. And generally, I do prefer tracks without speed mods. So yeah, this one is getting 3 stars. Seems like we're starting off with a bunch of tracks that are like kind of towards the middle. We've only had 3 and 4 star tracks so far. So I guess let's see if our 5th track can mix up things a little bit. So track number 5 is Rime Fusillade Byways. I know this track. This one is by Epic Crossover. Once again, we are playing one of Epic Crossover's oldest tracks, just like last episode. And yeah, seizure warning, by the way. Nice intro cam. The visuals here are definitely a little bit eye-melting. I don't know what Epic Crossover did with the UV mapping here, but it's not good. Epic Crossover's newest tracks are actually really, really good. Like recently for one of the competitions, like EXTR4, he made a track called Effervescent Ravine, and the gameplay was actually super fun and visually looked great too. But this is rough. Also, these off-road patches are super random. This track is also definitely a little bit small-scaled. It's definitely a confusing track. And yeah, honestly, this one doesn't have terrible gameplay, but the visuals, yeah. I'm gonna give this one 2 stars. For a track to get 1 star, it does have to be really bad, which this one definitely isn't. This one is actually fairly fun gameplay-wise. It's just painful to look at, for sure. I'm glad that Epic Crossover now knows how to properly texture his tracks, because it's really not fun to look at this right here. But still, the gameplay is actually solid. It's a pretty simplistic track, but it's functional overall, and I don't think it would deserve 1 star. We definitely don't have as strong of a start as the last 2 episodes. I guess let's see if the 6th track can maybe change that. So track number 6 for this video is going to be LTR Rainbow Road. Why is this track here twice? What the heck? I guess let's just select one of them and hope that it's the correct one. I really don't know what to expect now. Okay, well, this is not looking good. Dude, this is LTR Rainbow Clouds, isn't it? I don't actually know. Wait, what is this? Dude, yeah, this is... Oh, wait, no. Oh, this is the new version of LTR Rainbow Road. I didn't even know this got updated. Okay, thankfully, by the way, I do know this track, obviously. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to comment on that. This was actually made for a competition format that I used to co-host. This update is interesting. I don't know why the old version seems to be in the pack too. That is really confusing. This update looks awesome compared to the old version. The old version looked quite buggy visually. The base gameplay is the same. There's just like a few additional objects and like these mushroom thingies, I guess, which is cool to have, definitely. But still, so confusing that they have this track twice in here. I'll definitely message THF about this. But yeah, this one is gonna get 4 stars. It's really fun. The gameplay here is pretty great. The visuals are pretty great. Overall, it's a pretty enjoyable track. I like the shroomless turn skips here. It's just a pretty short and simple layout, to be honest. But this is a lot better than the old version of the track that was made for that competition. So yeah, definitely 4 stars right here. Alright, time for our 7th track now, which is going to be GCN Baby Park by Yugo Town 35,000 VR. Are you actually kidding me right now? We already had a version of GCN Baby Park just 2 episodes ago. Why do I have to play this shit track again? Blah, blah. Okay, I can't actually see the track yet. 1 second. Alright, now it's time. At least, this doesn't seem to be the Mario Kart 8 version of the track. This looks pretty unique. And there's thankfully no baby pink gold peach statue unlike ZPL's version. But why do I have to play Baby Park again, man? That's just not nice. Honestly, I'm actually enjoying this a little bit more than the original Baby Park though. Baby Park, for the record, is still my least favorite Mario Kart track. That has not changed. That will never change. I do appreciate that this track is a little bit bigger. Honestly, just because it's bigger, this is actually one of the best versions of this track that I've played so far. Wait, this is so weird though. Do you have to play every lap twice to get a lap count? Did the creator not know how to make more than 3 laps? But yeah, basically this track is 6 laps. And then it's actually not that much bigger. It's still a little bit bigger. I'd say 1 lap takes about like 1.5 times as much time to complete as on the original version. But I'd say the increase still helps. Makes this track a bit less chaotic. And honestly, that's enough to give this track 2 stars. Yeah, call me crazy, but I actually like this more than ZPL's version of this track. Or honestly, any other version that I've played so far. It definitely looks much weaker visually than the other remakes that I've played so far. But the slight increase in size definitely makes this a lot less chaotic and in turn a lot more fun. But still, it's just an oval. Baby Park will never be a good track. But yeah, I think the size increase here makes this not terrible. So I don't think 1 star would be justified here. So yeah, maybe I need to take back my vomiting. But it's still Baby Park. We're now facing the last track before the halfway point. Interestingly, we have not had a single 5-star track yet. So let's see if that can change right here. Track number 8 is going to be Custom Track Offices. Okay, honestly, this is looking pretty interesting so far. I like the visual style they went for. It's unique. This intro cam is quite long for sure. I am super curious about the gameplay now. The visuals got me hooked for sure. Okay, I thought that was gonna be trickable, but it's not. That's not too dramatic. Honestly, so far we're off to a really good start. I'm already liking some of the design choices that we have here. That is a bit of a tight turn though. It's not the worst. You can get through it pretty easily still. Okay, I don't know what just happened. Wait, am I even going the right way? I think I am. Wait, that's so confusing. Well, I mean, actually it's done very well, so that's like not that confusing, but still, it's a really interesting concept. I like it. This is a really good track. It's so creative. This is a pretty awesome concept. I like how the boost panel even goes both ways. That's so funny. Very enjoyable layout for sure. I guess if you go that way first, you'd probably just get a no lap count, right? I'm sure they did the checkpoints in a way that there's like a key checkpoint over here that forces you to go around. And yeah, that's gonna reward this track with 5 stars. So yeah, indeed, we did get a 5-star track before the halfway point of this video. Yeah, the visuals here look great, and I really like the track design here. It's really unique, very creative. It's just really enjoyable to drive. There's 1 turn that could be a little bit less tight, but 1 turn isn't gonna change the track in most cases. And it's not that bad, to be honest. You can get through it pretty easily. So yeah, this is a banger for sure, and our first 5-star track here finally. Okay, we're now in the second half of this video. I think we can safely say that we're probably not gonna beat the record of 8 5-star tracks, because literally every track from now on would have to be 5 stars to beat it. But hey, let's see. Maybe track number 9 is gonna be 5 stars. Let's see. Track number 9 is going to be Spyro 1 Gnasty Gnorc's Lair. Very interesting name once again. Okay, well, we have another good track visually right here at the very least. Really interesting visual style. I know this is probably from the Spyro series, because there were quite some Spyro tracks. I've never played any Spyro games, but I do know Spyro, like the dragon character from like Skylanders. So yeah, definitely an interesting theme already. Track design so far is not bad at all. Some turns here do look tight, but they're actually not that bad. Doesn't seem like there's any ramps on this one though. It's honestly pretty flat. I guess there's this little ramp right here. But yeah, otherwise the layout here is pretty basic. There's like no objects, barely any ramps and stuff. The water looks awesome though. Yeah, honestly this track's pretty cool. It's just a bit simplistic, but overall has a fun track design. The visuals are definitely great here. If this is what the Spyro games look like, then I gotta check them out. I do know what Spyro himself looks like in these games, and honestly, he just looks goofy in the Spyro games. In Skylanders, he actually looks like really epic. Anyway, that's besides the point. This track is gonna get 4 stars. This definitely has a pretty fun layout alongside pretty great visuals. It's a bit basic though, doesn't really have any shortcuts, no objects, only like one ramp. So it's not super exciting, but overall the layout is still quite well done, definitely. Like most sections do feel distinct enough. So yeah, it's a pretty good track to be honest. Okay then, time to move on with track number 10, which is going to be Stadium Spaceway. Okay, we didn't really see that much in this 1-second intro cam, but we have a pretty interesting visual style right here. This is definitely looking quite SketchUp right now. Actually, now I'm not sure. This definitely looks unique though. Nice cannon right here. Well, this is really interesting already. These half pipes don't seem to have like invisible walls, so you just kind of fly into the distance. But yeah, okay, well that was interesting. Hopefully I didn't skip any key checkpoints with that. Ooh, this rainbow texture looks awesome. Very interesting track design here. Wait, what? Why does it say sus? Okay, I'm not even sure how you do this section. What is the plan here? I'm actually so confused right now. What is like the intended way to get through there? This track is long. We're over 2 minutes in and we're not even that close to lap 3 yet. Okay, I need to really stop taking these half pipes. They don't work that well. I'm so confused about this. I guess it's not a half-pipe collision on the right side. Weird. Honestly, though, this track was kind of cool. I'm gonna give this 3 stars. Actually has some pretty fun layout choices. Some sections are definitely a little bit jank, especially that one half-pipe before the first cannon. In general, the half-pipes here are definitely not that functional. But the rest of this track is quite fun. It's just a bit long. It's still a pretty neat track, to be honest. So yeah, 3 stars it is. Alright, then our 11th track for this video is Mikoopa's Citadel. Okay, interesting lava texture already. Otherwise, we don't really see way too much yet, but it definitely does seem to be a castle environment, rather unsurprisingly. Though I haven't really figured out yet who Mikoopa is. Position tracker seems a little bit buggy. Okay, apparently Mikoopa is just a blue Bowser. That definitely makes sense. Honestly, the track is not bad though. Like, so far, it's pretty fun. Although it's maybe not the strongest visually, but it's not bad either visually. This is a pretty interesting track for sure. Though this ending section seems a little bit empty. Actually, there's a few lava geysers, so it's not that bad. There's definitely some good design choices on this layout. I like this section in particular. It's pretty cool. I like this bridge. It's a good wood texture. Can I stop getting wrecked? Time to take revenge on these CPUs. Got him. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's a solid track. It's once again on the longer side, but not as long as the previous track. By the way, one thing I forgot to mention, I'm not playing custom characters yet, since I'm still on the same version that caused a bunch of crashes last time. So yeah, playing it safe. Anyway, this track's gonna get 4 stars. Visually, I wouldn't say it's on a 4-star level, but the gameplay here is actually quite fun. Most sections feel quite interesting. There's definitely quite some good design choices. And yeah, honestly, gameplay-wise, not many complaints about this one. Just that it's not really the most interesting, you know? So yeah, this is definitely a 4-star track. We've got 5 more tracks to go. Track number 12 is going to be Shoutout Circuit. Okay, not looking bad so far, definitely. Still a weird visual style for sure. We seem to have some pipes here, similar to like that beta track from Mario Kart DS. Also, where are the shoutouts? I guess they're in front of me. Did like a YouTuber or streamer make this and just put like a bunch of viewers on here? I'm so confused. Let's see if I recognize anyone here. I think I saw King Boo Gaming's profile pic at the start. that? Okay, what is that? What the heck? It's a cannon, but apparently only the bottom part of the cannon actually works. Well, it's a good thing though that there's a cannon, because otherwise we'd have 2 ungodly long straightaways instead of 1. How far up can you go this thing? Seems like the usual like 90 degrees, I guess. Then the game starts to complain. Okay, we're going through the wall. That's fun. It's probably gonna spawn us out of bounds. Okay, never mind. We're fine. Also, I'm actually not sure if King Boo Gaming's profile pic is on here, because the one I meant earlier just shows a normal Bob-Omb, while I believe King Boo Gaming has like King Bob-Omb as their profile pic. So yeah, not really sure. If I'm wrong, then you're wrong actually, because I'm always right. What? I did not know Red Schultz did this in the cannon? What the heck? So for the player, nothing has collision while going through a cannon, but apparently for items, walls do have collision? Or road, I guess? That's weird. Anyway, I guess this track's gonna get 2 stars. It's just really simplistic. There's not really much going on with the layout, but the cannon is kind of funny. It's definitely not a terrible track, so 1 star is no option. It has an interesting concept for sure. It's just really basic. So yeah, this one is getting 2 stars. Okay, track number 13 is Northern Heights. There we go. We're getting back into 5-star territory now. And yeah, this track obviously is a banger. I think you can already tell by the intro cam. The visuals here look stunning, and the gameplay here does not disappoint either. This track has a lot of really good shortcuts. I want to try to go for some of them, because I honestly don't do this enough. Okay, that's not how you do it. You're supposed to use a shroom right there. I'm already skill issuing, but that's fine. Okay, nice one. Thank you for that. But it doesn't really matter. I've played this track countless times before, so obviously I don't really need to play this one well. I know that it's good anyway. Let's take this shortcut now. It's much easier. Okay. Whoa, that was cool. Okay, wow, what a bomb snipe too. That was certainly a moment of all time. But yeah, this track is so fun. So many awesome design choices here. Whoa. Okay, what is going on right now? Can we make this? No, we can't. I'd imagine you can probably do the shortcut where I get the crazy wall clip shroomless, because you have like slow falling here. If I had to guess, I'd probably just have to like do this, drift, and boom. Okay, we just got the wall clip again. I'm actually so cracked at this game. Let's do this again, just because why not? Hey, no wall clip this time. What is Mario doing? Are you okay? Alright, well, this one is most certainly getting 5 stars. This is a very strong track for sure. Visually, it obviously looks absolutely amazing. And the gameplay here is awesome too. We got a lot of interesting design choices, many great shortcuts. And yeah, overall, just an awesome, variant, fun track design. Everything here flows well, so yeah. I'd say this is a very obvious 5-star track right here. And possibly the strongest track of the video. I guess we'll see what the last 3 tracks can offer. Speaking of which, our third to last track is going to be Veld Bloom. We have another epic crossover track right here, and this one is actually quite a bit newer and also quite a bit better. Once again, I have absolutely no idea what the theme here is supposed to be, but the visuals, as you can tell, already look a lot more pleasant. This is made for the Flower CT Jam, by the way, which to this day is the only jam where I made a half-decent track. I definitely need to participate in CT Jams more. Usually, I just can't really think of a track. But yeah, this track is pretty awesome. I really like the track design here. It's overall just really fun and nicely scaled. This section right here is pretty weird. I think the KCL there got a little bit messed up, so it's a little bit offset. That's not much of an issue though. It's not that confusing. At least it follows the track design still. It's just a little bit above the track. And yeah, overall this is a pretty great track. Could benefit from some shortcuts though. There's pretty much only one at the start. Visually, epic crossover tracks aren't usually the best of the best, but you know, they still look good enough. Definitely doesn't look bad. And yeah, that's Veld Bloom. This track is gonna get 4 stars. Yeah, we got a pretty great track design right here. It's really enjoyable to play, has a great scale. Visually, it's alright, I'd say. And yeah, overall, I'd say this is just a pretty solid package of a track, which definitely makes it 4 stars. Alright, only 2 more tracks to go. Our second to last track for this video is Lecce's Rainbow Road. I probably mispronounced that name, but whatever. Okay, this track seems to have water, I guess. We haven't really seen that much of the actual track yet, so I guess that's probably gonna be something to look at after the intro cams are over. Honestly, it's looking pretty decent for now. Minimap is interesting. I like these custom item boxes. In general, this has some pretty nice custom objects. This is definitely off to a good start. Okay, that's boost. I like that. Though it seems to be not trickable, which is weird. Okay, that's a tight turn. Weird track for sure, but I like how unique it is. This is really different from most Rainbow Road tracks, and it's honestly really fun. This is pretty fun right here. I just wish the end was trickable. Then it would be like a really fun and super fast ramp. The tight turn before the Spyro doesn't matter that much, because if you know that it goes to the right, it's pretty easy. I like these mushrooms right here. Can you go on these? Yeah, you can. That's great. That's an awesome design choice. I love mushrooms going into cannons. I wish that was done more often. We need more tracks with like creative mushroom physics. Visually, this track is solid, I'd say. Definitely got some weird texturing at parts, but overall it looks okay. Maybe more stuff could be trickable, because right now almost nothing is. I could genuinely see a theme like this being done by actual Nintendo. And yeah, this one's gonna get 4 stars once again. This just has a really fun and interesting track design alongside a pretty distinct Rainbow Road-like theme. So yeah, overall, once again, a pretty fun track that just doesn't quite reach 5 stars. We've had a lot of those today. It just has a few gameplay issues, I'd say. Like maybe some stuff could be trickable, and then there's like a few turns that could maybe be different. But otherwise, this is once again a pretty great track, like most tracks in this video. And that means it's now time for this video's last track, which is going to be Cherry Grove. This track has the exact same name as the biome that was added to Minecraft in 1.20. So maybe this is a Minecraft track? Probably not. Okay, well this doesn't look Minecrafty, but it certainly looks pretty awesome. I'm loving the visual style right here. I mean, cherry tracks usually look great. Is this by Kazakura? This looks so Kazakura. I bet it is. Oh, I like these Goombas. I like how they look like the Goombas from Mario 64. This is a great track already. Nice cannon too. And this track design so far is really fun and fast paced. This track's awesome. Scaled really nicely too. This turn right here is a bit bumpy, but otherwise, no complaints. This seems to be a short and sweet track, so it's definitely a good one to end this off with. Though I should probably try to win against the CPUs here. I've lost to the CPUs enough times in this video, so let's just not do that this time. This track definitely is really short. Could honestly see this being a bit better with like 4 or 5 laps, but otherwise, this track slaps. And we did lose to the CPUs, by the way. Thank you, Blue Shell. So for our final track, I'd say this is gonna get 5 stars. It's a bit borderline between 4 and 5 stars just because of how short it is, but this is just a really enjoyable track design overall. And there's some nice off-road shortcuts too. Visuals look amazing, and overall just a really nice theme. So yeah, I'd say this track does have enough for 5 stars, and I'd say it's a pretty good way to end off this track selection right here. Okay then, now that we're done playing all the 16 tracks, it's as always time to rank them from worst to best. Like last episode, we did not have a single 1-star track, but 3 tracks did end up receiving 2 stars. So at number 16 we have Shoutout Circuit, at number 15 we have GCN Bay Park by Yugo Town 35000 VR, and at number 14 we have Rime Fusillade Byways. Then 3 tracks received a 3-star rating. So at number 13 we have Stadium Spaceway, at number 12 we have Mystery Valley, and at number 11 we have Mario Kart World. Then an insane 7 tracks received 4 stars. I think that's the second highest number of 4-star tracks yet. So at number 10 we have Spyro 1 Gnasty Gnorc's Lair, at number 9 we have Veld Bloom, at number 8 we have Track I Didn't Finish in Time, at number 7 we have Dinner Dash, at number 6 we have LTR Rainbow Road, at number 5 we have Mikoopa Citadel, and at number 4 we have Lecce's Rainbow Road. Lastly, 3 tracks received a 5-star rating. So at number 3 we have Cherry Grove, at number 2 we have Custom Track Offices, and for, in my opinion, the best track of this video, at number 1 we have Northern Heights. So yeah, for the 3rd time in a row now, we have a CTGP track taking the 1st place here, which definitely makes sense. CTGP has a lot of bangers, and Northern Heights is certainly one of them. This is a great winner for sure, though not quite as strong as Jungle Glade and Sky High Island from the previous 2 episodes. Overall, this track selection felt a little bit mid, but actually was pretty dang strong. Like actually, this episode has a pretty high average, just because it got so many 4-star tracks, and it also had no 1-star tracks. That helped too. So yeah, I'd say overall this was a pretty solid track selection, even though we didn't have as many 5-star tracks as in the last episode, for example, though the 8 5-star tracks from the last episode will probably never be beaten. But yeah, overall I'd say this was definitely a pretty great episode, and I would definitely say that this was easily the most normal episode of the season so far. We had some very weird stuff going on in the previous 2 episodes, so I'm glad that we had a normal one here. And yeah, I'd say that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys in the next video. And as always, enjoy Wario on drugs.